Thank you, Speaker. My question is to the Treasurer. How is the Albanese Labor government getting on with the job of delivering more affordable housing for Australians and the economy after a wasted decade?
I'll give the call to the Treasurer.
Thanks, Mr Speaker. Thanks to the member for Aston for her question, but also for caring so deeply about people in her community looking for affordable properties, and particularly the renters in her part of the world. A really important development today, Mr Speaker, as the Senate cleared the way for the next stage of the consideration of the Housing Australia Future Fund. And we thank those in the Senate who were prepared to support the HAF so that we could get this moving. This is the biggest single investment in social housing since the member for Sydney was the Housing Minister over a decade ago. And it is part of a broad and ambitious agenda that we have for housing. It's an important part of our housing plan, but it's not the only part of our housing plan.
The Treasurer will pause. Member for Deakin is continually interjecting again today. Had a good go yesterday. He's going to remain silent for the remainder of this answer to assist me hearing the answer. The Treasurer has the call.
Thank you, Speaker. Now, on top of the Housing Australia Future Fund, across our first two budgets, this government and this Prime Minister has committed in excess of $8 billion in new funding to deliver more houses, more supply and more relief for renters, because we want more Australians to have the security and the dignity of a decent home and a decent roof over their head. Now, yesterday, the Minister for Housing launched the National Housing Supply and Affordability Council's report into barriers to institutional investment in housing, and that report sets out a range of ways that we can help get more investment in housing in this country. But we are already taking a number of steps across a number of fronts. We're working with the states and local government and institutional investors and the industry to unlock more supply through our National Housing Accord and our National Housing Target. And as the Minister said yesterday, the Housing Australia Future Fund will provide a secure income stream that will give institutional investors the certainty that they need to invest. Now, we know, Mr Speaker, that inflation and cost of living pressures, including in housing, are still the biggest challenge in our economy. We understand that people are under the pump, and that applies to people struggling to find a roof over their head as well. Now, this is a long-standing challenge, but we are taking decisive action across a range of areas, Mr Speaker. We have had a wasted decade when it comes to investment in housing, and we are doing our best to turn that around and to clean up the mess that we inherited. We are working to get more homes, more supply, making it easier to own a home, and also taking some of the sting out of these higher rents with the biggest increase in Commonwealth rent assistance in 3 decades, Mr Speaker. Now, we know, of course, there is more work to be done, but this is a government which is working for Australia, delivering billions of dollars in investment in housing, building more homes and more supply, and helping to ease the pressure on renters. And that's why, despite all of that effort, Mr Speaker, it beggars belief that in the Senate today those opposite voted for fewer homes and more homelessness and higher rents. We are cleaning up the mess they left behind.